Hi, and welcome to Curriculum Assessment and Quality Improvement. My name is Dr. Christy Preisman, and I will be working with you over the next 8 weeks. So what I wanted to do first was hopefully to give you a pretty brief overview of our course. Just a little FYI, sometimes I'm a little wordy, and my videos throughout the course can be a little bit long. So I just want you to know that at any time you may feel free to pause, get up, walk away, go do something else, and come back. So please know that with any of the lessons that I have put up on our course shell, that it's probably not something that you could or may not even want to sit down in one full session, but I do hope that you will take the time to listen to everything, because my goal for this class really is to expose you to some hopefully new and interesting concepts in curriculum assessment and quality improvement, but also if you're already very familiar with this area, I just ask you to revisit kind of some of the older to you concepts, because I think especially our educators, as we teach and we work, we sometimes tend to kind of forget the basics, and sometimes it's good to go back to the basics. So I hope we'll find a little bit of something for everyone in the class. But real quick, I wanted just to show you what our course shell is like. So right now I'm currently logged into the student view, and this will be your home page. The first box that you can go ahead, or the first part that you can go ahead and click on, of course, is the course overview, which that's why you're here, because you're watching the video. And so I have the student learning objectives, the course syllabus is here, as well as the course calendar. Please print those two documents off so that you have those for your reference. I also have a course pre-assessment that I would appreciate it if you would take. It's not graded or anything, and I would just like you to not use any resources when you answer the questions, because it's going to kind of help give me a picture of where we stand when it comes to curriculum assessment and quality improvement. And then I do just have an introduction forum. I have not met each one of you formally, and so I would appreciate it if you could just take the time to introduce yourself. There are a few prompts provided, but that would be great. Okay, so we'll go back to the home page. And we have 3 units in our course. The first one, Unit 1, covers educational philosophies, curriculum, and the CAI final project. And so if you just scroll through this, I will have a welcome for each unit and kind of cover the student learning objectives with the unit learning objectives, what it is we'll be covering. And then assignments will always be in green, okay? And the course calendar will have the due dates. So please, please, please make sure you print off the course calendar. My announcements that I will send out weekly will also talk about due dates, but the course calendar will just be great for you to have. So the first topic we will talk about in Unit 1 is educational philosophies. I do have a video there for you to watch, and what's really cool about studying the educational philosophies is just kind of getting to know who you are and what your belief is about education. And I think it's important to know what you stand for and why you make the choices that you do, whether it's in the job you have now, educational leadership in some format, shape, way, or form, or whatever it is you want to do with your future, whether you want to teach at higher ed, staff development, faculty development. You know, we have to know what it is that we believe in and why we believe in it. Curriculum, there will be a brief overview of curriculum. I'll have you watch a video, and then I have a couple online resources and readings that I would like you to look at. And then I do have a description of the CAI final project. I highly encourage you to watch this video because it will talk about the project and the expectations. Excuse me. And this is a copy of the presentation, not integrity. And then I have a reading for us that we will kind of use to kind of start us off, and then we'll talk about it again in Unit 3. But the project descriptions are right here. So here's an overall description of the CAI project, and then when you learn about it, you'll see that you have 2 options. One is to create a new course or program, and the other is to revise a current course and program. So there's rubrics for each one of those. And then there are project samples. And right now I would like to note that I have made a change based on student feedback and some confusion in the past with the final project, where I used a term called quality improvement visual, but it was confusing people with one of the bigger parts of the paper. So now I have modified what I used to call the QIV to the curriculum design visual, and then added a whole separate piece on the quality improvement piece. So you can look at the samples, but I just want to forewarn you ahead of time that they will be somewhat different than what I am asking of you this semester. But I know some people really like samples and they like to, see what they're striving for. So I did want to provide those for you. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. All of your assignment links will be in green. So you can, wherever you see green, that is where you will submit an assignment. Now, Unit 2 and Unit 3 are built a little bit differently. I do realize that all of the people that I have in my course are coming from different backgrounds, different experiences, different professions. We take health, we take health professions, we take business people, and we take educators. And so my educators especially have had a lot of experience with curriculum instruction, assessment, curriculum mapping, data analysis. And so I've created 2 strands in hopes that I can better meet the needs of all of my learners. So again, this unit will kind of open up with what it's about, and it will talk about our student learning objectives, and it will talk about our unit learning objectives right here. So I encourage you to read over those. And then again, the assignments will be listed right here. Please see the course calendar for due dates. But then as we move down, you'll see that I have a strand A and a strand B. And I would suggest for those of you who do not have a lot of experience with curriculum, assessment, and quality improvement that you use strand A. For those of you who are educators or who have been educators in the past and you feel like you are very familiar with the information that I'm covering, I give you, in most cases, different options and different information to explore. Now that doesn't happen all the time because sometimes I do think it's good to kind of revisit that foundation, but many times you will have different things to read, different videos to view. So you guys can kind of pick your strand, but I also encourage you to kind of check the other one out and see if there's anything that, hey, for those of you who are in strand A, you aren't going to have time probably to read everything, but it might be worth printing off some of these articles and saving them for later. And the same thing for my folks in strand B. If you're really interested in, say, teaching and learning and curriculum development in online education, because you're going to teach online sometime, but there's a really good kind of article from Wiggins and McTee about backwards design, it might be something to print off so that you can just kind of have for your reference later. So feel free to explore either strand, but really kind of fit yourself into one, because the assignments actually are they are connected to each of the strands. So everybody will do a reflection on curriculum design, but there will be a different focus for strand A and a different focus for strand B. And that's how all of our assignments will work, I think except one, in units 2 and 3. So then we'll cover instructional strategies. Again, now here's a couple articles that are the same, but this again is because I really thoroughly believe in Marzano's 9 instructional strategies, and I think that there's good stuff to kind of revisit in there. So there's a video, but over here then I talk about online instructional strategies for strand B, where my strand A is going to focus more on what Marzano talks about, because that information is more than likely new to you. Okay, and then we will talk about assessment in the classroom. So again, some things are the same, some things are a little bit different regarding videos to watch and things to think about. So just please feel free to explore. But again, when you think about the assignment, just think about what strand you're in, and that will be the question that you will answer, okay? And then in Unit 2, I have some information on curriculum mapping. So this is here for everybody. It is actually optional. The course has kind of had more information that has needed to come into it, and we can't add more time. We can only add more content. So there were some things that I had to make optional this time around, or I had to delete. And one of the things I wanted to keep, because I really think it's important, is information about curriculum mapping. So again, there's an optional online assessment which you do or do not have to take. It would just kind of test your knowledge. But I do encourage you to watch the information about curriculum mapping. And this especially is for those in education who maybe your school has never done curriculum mapping before, or for those of you who plan on going into higher ed and you yourselves will someday be designing programs and putting together curriculum. And curriculum mapping for both your program and course mapping is very, very important. So again, I encourage you to read it. I know there's a lot of information in Unit 2, but I hope you will find it worthwhile. And then Unit 3, very similar. We have the welcome. We talk about the student learning objectives as well as the unit learning objectives. You have your assignments, and then everything is broken down into the strand A and strand B. These two are probably a little bit more similar just because there are a couple articles that I think are really great no matter your experience in curriculum and education. But we do talk about data analysis and evaluation, and then the really big part then is that quality improvement, and just how important it is to make sure we are always working for forward progress in whatever kind of curriculum we may be developing, a program we may be creating for our staff, whatever it would be, to keep moving forward and you collecting that data and using that data to make our programs better. Okay, and then your final assignment links are here on the bottom. So that is an overview of curriculum assessment and quality improvement. Please, again, please take time to watch the videos. You don't have to do it all in one sitting because some of them are long, but I do hope they will be worthwhile and valuable to you. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns throughout the course, please let me know. I will make sure to send announcements about weekly just to remind people of where we're at and what we need to do. Email is probably the best way to get a hold of me and the quickest way to